welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Mustang drive modes. There are like 4 or 5 different modes that the Mustang has. We're going to be going over each of them. I'm going to be explaining how each of them feel and what changes, and some of them hold gear shifts more. Like there's a drag mode, which is a little extreme. I would just use it on a drag strip, honestly. I wouldn't be using it on the street anywhere. It gets kind of crazy, especially if you have traction control off. I wouldn't turn it off. So let's head over and take a look. So right now we're cruising along down the street in normal mode, and normal mode is pretty much what I drive in usually. It's a good mode for balancing fuel economy. When you want to go fast, you can floor it. I mean, it has a nice response, but not as nice as Sport Plus mode. But mainly you're concerned about the fuel economy when you're driving and not like going down canyon roads or anything like that. Yeah, so that's basically normal mode. It's pretty much for normal everyday driving. You go to the store, come back, you go to college, come back. Normal mode's your way to go. Let's move on to the next mode. We're gonna switch it over to Sport Plus mode, and I'm gonna go over it a little bit, and we're gonna go on a little drive and see how it is in Sport Plus. So as you can tell, I don't know if you can hear that, but it held it until like around 3,000 RPM. It was a long while, even though I wasn't flooring it or hitting throttle at all. I was barely touching a throttle. It held the RPMs for a while. Normally, when you drive in this mode, it feels really weird if you're just driving in the city, because it just feels like it's holding the gear for such a long time. So it gets better as it goes up gears, but it just feels really weird when driving normally. Let me demonstrate a little bit of throttle response for you guys. So right now I'm cruising along, it's at 2K RPM. So it's just pretty damn quick. As you can tell, like right when I floored it, it downshifted pretty much instantaneously and gave you the power whenever you need it. This mode is really nice for canyon driving. I wouldn't really recommend it for just driving back and forth from your friend's house or to the store or the mall or whatever, just because you're probably going to get less fuel economy just because it's holding the gears for a longer time and it's just wasting a lot more fuel. The throttle is also really responsive compared to the other modes. So sometimes it can feel a little too sensitive, especially if you're not used to it, which is kind of a bad thing, because let's say if you're at a stop and you are used to normal mode, you kind of would push it a little, like you push it as you would push it if it was in normal mode, but since it's not in normal mode, it would give you such a lot more power compared to normal mode, so it would feel really weird. And when you're coming to a stop, I don't know if you hear that, but it does downshift pretty heavily to help you with engine braking, which is really nice when you're going on a spirited drive. But when you're just cruising back and forth, it does feel kind of weird. Overall, it sounds amazing because it holds the gears for a while, so you can really hear the engine. When you're slowing down, it downshifts quite heavily, so you can hear each and every downshift, which is really nice too. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this mode for daily driving. So right now we're in track mode. We switched over to track mode, and what's really scary about track mode is that it says that traction control is off. I don't think it's fully off. I think it's like pretty much halfway off, so advanced track is not off. But it is kind of scary, especially when you're going around corners. If you hit the throttle too much, the back wheels might spin. And it's aggressively downshifting right now, way more than if you're in Sport Plus mode when slowing down. Yeah, I wouldn't really use this mode that much. Honestly, I don't even use it that much at all. This is maybe like my 3rd time using it. For like the past 2 times I've used it, I put it on for like 10 seconds and then gotten scared that I would take a corner a little too fast and put a little too much throttle on and just spin the car out. But I'm sure it isn't that bad, but I don't know. I'm kind of scared of this mode, honestly. But let's see how the throttle response is like right now. So I'm cruising around at 40 miles an hour. I think my cameraman is kind of scared over there. But here, let's see how it is. Okay, I didn't fully. So it feels pretty good. There's a lot of power. and it's holding the RPMs. It's holding that gear on for a really long time. Still hasn't upshifted or downshifted yet.
So it was in first that whole time?
So it was in first, but it was holding that whatever gear it was on.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, track mode, I wouldn't really recommend it. It's kind of like Sport Plus, but it's a little scarier and it's a little more aggressive too. So there's track mode for you guys. Let's go on to the next mode. So another thing I didn't mention yet is that every time you put it on Sport Plus or track mode, I'm pretty sure it's the same for drag strip mode, is it automatically tightens up the steering a little bit. So normally I have my steering on normal mode. There's normal, comfort, and sport mode for the steering. I feel personally, for me, sport mode is a little too tight. It feels a little unnatural. Normal mode is usually what I drive in, and it's a good balance between comfort and sport mode. And comfort mode is a little like, it's a little too comfortable for me, honestly. It feels a little loose. It just feels like you can drive with your, like, with one finger, which, like, I don't think a Mustang should be driven with one finger at any time, just in case something happens. You never know. Just wanted to put a little bit, give you guys a little bit more information about how the steering feel changes when you change to different modes. So right now I'm going to change to drag strip mode, and this mode is a little weird. I would not recommend this mode at all. Like track mode, maybe you can like screw around with it a little bit on the street, but drag strip mode is a little weird. So what it does is, what it feels like it does is every time it shifts, it grabs hold of all the torque that's missing when it's shifting, and it puts it all out at once when it actually shifts the car. And the car starts jerking back and forth every time you shift. And for the first like 2-3 gear shifts, what happens is the tires start spinning for each gear shift. I mean, it's pretty sick and it sounds really cool, and like sometimes you can even hear it squeal a little back there, and it, like, you can really feel it. You'll see. I think the camera's gonna start jerking back and forth because we're gonna do a little run over here in drag strip mode. But yeah, it's drag strip mode is kind of extreme. I would just keep it to the drag strip. We're in drag strip mode right now, and we're on the secret street in Mexico. We traveled all the way there. Power of editing. So I'm gonna come to a full stop right here, and we're gonna floor it in drag strip mode real quick. Hear it? I wouldn't use this mode for the road at all. It's kind of crazy, and the tires were, you could tell the tires were spinning like crazy. Every gear shift, I mean not every gear shift, but like for the first couple, you can hear the tires squeal. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but the cameraman can confirm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's getting a little crazy. It was definitely, you felt the rear was loose for a while there too.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So it's a pretty crazy mode. As long as you have traction control on, you'll be fine. But yeah, you're gonna definitely burn some rubber, and you gotta be careful. You can
smell it now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can a little bit. You're definitely gonna burn some rubber, and you just gotta be careful. Just try not to die when you're in that mode. That's all. It feels a little weird too. It feels like the transmission's about to fall apart sometimes, because it jerks you so hard into that next gear shift that it just feels crazy. So that was a little overview of the drive modes on the Mustang. You only get the drive modes if you get the either the 301A package or the premium package. You don't get them in the base trim, but I think the 301 package is around $2,000, so it's not too bad, and you get some other stuff with it too. It's definitely worth it, I would say. Yeah, that was a review of the drive modes. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to watch more of our videos, then please do subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you're notified of any upcoming videos we make. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions for new videos, or any suggestions we could do to improve our videos. And thank you for watching.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays.